game ended up being a close one, but the Los Angeles Lakers secured the victory, defeating the Indiana Pacers 150-145 to finish their recent homestand. This was a strong performance for the squad, winning 3 games in a row after a high-scoring battle against Indiana. With this result, they improved their home record to a solid 27-12 this year, bringing their total season record to 39-32. Now, the roster is traveling away to play the Milwaukee Bucks on Tuesday night. This matchup was certainly a unique one to witness. Playing without a key starter like D'Angelo Russell is never easy, and it forced the Lakers to rely on players who do not usually get many minutes on the court. We saw everyone from Austin Reaves leading the rotation tonight all the way to Anthony Davis playing over 40 minutes. In my opinion, they handled the pressure incredibly well and played a solid game. Even though they were up against a fast Indiana Pacers team, you can't overlook them because they are very scrappy and talented. Regardless of the opponent, the Lakers showed great resilience. What stood out most to me was that the Lakers actually played a lot of this game through their offense. It might seem hard to believe when you look at the scoreboard and see 145 points scored, or notice Pascal Siakam having yet another massive 36-point game with 12 rebounds and 2 assists, but they truly did it through their scoring intensity. Throughout the month of March, the Lakers have ranked middle of the pack in steals per game, averaging 7.8. But tonight they took it to another level by recording 12 steals as a team. 4 of those steals came from Anthony Davis, who was an absolute menace on the court tonight. From the very first few plays of the game, Davis made his imprint. On an early play, he poked the ball away from Tyrese Haliburton, which led directly to a dunk on the other end for LeBron James. Then, on a later possession, he went up against Pascal Siakam, poked the ball away again, and forced a turnover. Even though he only ended with 12 points and his cold streak from the three-point line continued, his defense, rebounding, and pure hustle were exactly what the team needed. But it wasn't just him. The entire team was disruptive. LeBron James had a steal, Spencer Dinwiddie and Austin Reaves each had 2, and even guys like Taurean Prince and Cam Reddish came off the bench to grab 2 steals each. Even Jackson Hayes managed to get a steal in just 15 minutes of play. It's no coincidence that the Lakers currently have several players in the top ranks for total steals this month. Anthony Davis near the top and LeBron James close behind. They are finally learning how to stay committed on the defensive end and turn those stops into easy offense, which makes them a much more dangerous team heading into the postseason. Beyond the offense, we have to talk about Anthony Davis. With Christian Wood out, Davis had a massive opportunity, and he stepped up in a huge way. In the many games he has started this season, he has averaged over 24 points and 12 rebounds, while shooting over 55% from the field. Tonight was no different, as he finished with 36 points, 16 rebounds, and 3 blocks, shooting 15 of 21 from the floor. His fit with this team, especially as a lob threat and a pick-and-roll partner for Austin Reaves and LeBron, is becoming more impressive every day. Despite some defensive lapses during the game, which were expected given the missing players, the Lakers finished strong. Beyond the defense, we have to talk about Jackson Hayes. With DeAndre Ayton out, Hayes had a massive opportunity, and he stepped up in a huge way. In the games he has started this season, he has averaged over 12 points and 5 rebounds while shooting over 80% from the field. Tonight was no different, as he finished with 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 blocks, shooting 9 of 11 from the floor. His fit with this team, especially as a lob threat and a pick-and-roll partner for Luka Doncic and LeBron, is becoming more impressive every day. Despite some defensive lapses during the game, which were expected given the missing players, the Lakers finished strong.
Luka, obviously it's been a long trip. Just what did you think of your guys' ability to just close out the Pacers, even with how feisty they were toward the end?
Oh yeah, we knew they're gonna play hard for 48 minutes. That's what kind of team they are. So obviously we got to let it go a little bit in the fourth. I think everybody was a little bit tired. It's been a long trip, but we got the win at the end, so that was matters.
Did you notice Caitlin Clark, the photographer, right on the baseline?
Photographer.
No, Caitlin Clark, the NBA player from the WWE.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't see. She was taking a picture.
Yeah, she took a picture of you after one of your. She hit full on camera right on the baseline.
I didn't see that.
Do you have a relationship with her, or just?
Not really much, but I'm a big fan for sure. I watch a lot of games. Definitely her hooping. It's great to watch. So for sure, gotta go on one game to see her.
Luka, you guys go 5-1 on this road trip. Obviously, it was a really hard road trip. The quality of teams and the number of games you played. Just, what are you most impressed about the way you guys performed this long stretch?
Just a little bit of everything. I think we did a great job. Even the game we lost, we could have won. But I think just not giving up. We're numerous times teams went and run, and we didn't give up and just get back in the game.
You guys have talked a lot about Jackson's energy, the way he brings energy to pretty much every game. How important was his energy today on a day where you guys are all kind of tired and you're also shorthanded without DA?
Very important. He always plays good. When he needs to. Other games too, obviously, but today was a big example of what he can do, and I think he did an amazing job today.
You obviously haven't been here for all of Bronny's career, but how much improvement have you seen from him in the time you've been here, and how important was he in this game today?
Definitely big improvement for last year. I saw him in training camp. He was doing some stuff that I was really impressed with. Today he did a great job today. Big game for him. That pull up to, was a big bucket. It was probably one of the most important shots of the game. They're coming back. He is that one. So I think he did really great in those minutes.
Jack, it's almost just emblematic of the long trip. Indy really played through the 48 minutes. What did you see from your guys? I guess not just tonight, but to get to 5-1 and to be able to get home in this fashion.
Yeah, really good trip for us. There's a couple games that you sort of look at, the Miami game and this game, where we get in at late in Miami, and it's like that's probably the one of 3 or 4 teams that would be like the worst case scenario, just in terms of how fast they play and how they make you guard on every possession. And then to end the trip, it's sort of the same situation with how Indiana plays. They just play with so much pace, both in the full court and in the half court. It's like them, Charlotte, Miami, Chicago, like these teams, they're relentless with their pace in the half court. And I thought our guys, for what we had talked about this morning and pregame, really did a lot of great things. The starting group really set the tone. Jake defensively to start that game, getting deflections and steals. LeBron out and running. Jackson out and running. Luka and AR just being relentless with their paint touches to get, we ended up with 70. We had 40 points in the paint in the first half. So a lot, just great carryover for our team. And, we talked about it at halftime. We talked about it last time we played these guys. You could have a big lead on them, and they're just going to keep playing that same style of basketball, and they're going to make you guard every single possession, and they're going to. It's fast paced, and I thought the Bronny's jumper was big to kind of settle us, and then we went to the Horns 3 and with Luka, Austin, and Braun, and Austin gets the floater. Those were 2 big buckets there in the fourth.
JJ, you mentioned Jackson. I think his first double-double of the year in season highs in both points and rebounds. Just what did you see from him in terms of, and he always brings that energy, but on a night like this when everyone's a little bit tired, let's say, just how important was that energy from him?
It was great. I thought, again, it starts with running the floor for him. In particular, to start that third quarter, just created a bunch of scoring opportunities for us. And these guys, they know how dynamic he is as a roller, and they're looking for him. And I thought he did a great job of getting to the spots with pace, and then at times playing through some contact as well. And just like a number of guys on our team, he ends up with 2 steals and 2 blocks. We had 15 steals as a team. I thought our activity was great, and I really, Jake ended up with 4, but he led that. He had a number of deflections as well.
JJ, did you notice that in the fourth quarter that LeBron and Bronny went into the game together? Did that register for you at all?
Oh yeah,
just that they were at the table together, and
we make the substitution matrix.
Okay, when that first time that happened forever ago, there was so much attention to it and stuff, and kind of in the darkness, Bronny's just been kind of getting better. How much better is he today than when he started, and what does that say? I think I'm trying to remember what you called him, but like sort of like something about development, like that he's sort of like, the test case. He was gonna be the test case for how you
patient
guys
0 or
something like that. Yeah. To be able to rely on him tonight, when you needed him?
He's gotten significantly better. I know, our staff has a lot of confidence in him. Felt like this was a game we really needed him. It was a game that, his athleticism, his defense. He had two really, really good defensive possessions, individual defense in the first half. I think the biggest thing with him is he's got a lot of confidence right now, and I know he didn't make his three tonight, but he's got a lot of confidence in his shot right now. He's having a fantastic season with South Bay. He's been arguably the best player for like the last 3 or 4 weeks in our Stay Ready games, every single time. He's got a bounce to his step right now, and I think that just comes from developing that confidence. And Zach has done such a good job with all our guys. Every time they've been down there, they've gone down there with a specific purpose and plan, that myself and Coach Ty and Zach have coordinated, and they've all allowed themselves to be coached by Zach. And Bronny's, we saw it last year, and we're seeing it again this year. Just his growth as a player. And
you guys are now 7-1. Since you guys kind of talked to LeBron about roles and different things like that. I guess it's been a couple weeks. What have you just made of his sort of like embracing of what you've asked him to do?
Yeah, I used the word patience the other night, and I think that's the biggest thing, is just having patience with the flow of the game, having patience with me, having patience with his shots. But we saw the other night when he was 0 for 4, 0 for 5 in the first half. He still had 5 or 6 assists. He ends up with 9 assists tonight. He gets out in transition. We gave him just a clear sort of, and a lot of it was collaborative. A lot of it was the conversation that him and I had a couple weeks ago about what his role could look like that would impact winning at a really high level. And we gave him 4 things, and he's executed all 4 of those things really well.
Kind of looking forward, you mentioned after the Detroit game just how important health is for you guys. I looked it up, I'm forgetting that right now, but the record when you have your 9-man rotation. How will you, try to balance that down this final 8 games versus, trying to continue the continuity and keeping guys, in the lineup together in chemistry and whatnot?
Yeah, we're gonna go for it. So we're gonna try to win games, and we're gonna be smart about it. It's Dave and I always joke with Dave every time he asks me about that, but I don't know. I didn't know Adu was going to be out after the Detroit game. I didn't know DA was going to be out until he texted me this morning, 10 minutes before our meeting, that he was struggling with his, his back had tightened up. So we just manage the day. That's what we do.